The Edmonton Oilers have a chance to push the Dallas Stars to the brink tonight, leading 2-1 in the Western Conference Finals. It's the ever pivotal game for the swing game, if you will. And coming off their largest win in the postseason and the Dallas Stars' worst loss of the NHL playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers, you got to think, feeling pretty good about their game right now on Rogers Place. Home ice Tuesday evening, sun is shining. Will the Stars find their offense? Who knows? But we're going to find out later on this evening. Hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant, and is also a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today because you know the drill. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This evening, all night long, I am joined by the one, the only, Zachary. I already forget your middle name.
Johannes.
Zachary Johannes. No shit, I forgot it. That was why.
It's an awful.
Beautiful Tuesday evening here down at Greta Bar Yeg. Of course, I don't expect it to be as crazy as an evening as we had on Friday night or as crazy of an afternoon as I had on Sunday. Through and through Sunday fun day. My God, was I a hurting unit yesterday. But the thing about day drinking is that you get to bed so early. You remember to eat, you drink some water. Would have been a lot worse had that been Friday. Zachary, give me a vibe check right now. How we doing?
Vibes are high, my man. A little bit quiet down here right now, but it kind of feels like it's the calm before the storm, right? You know, this next hour, people are going to start packing in here down at Greta. As far as I'm concerned, the only place to watch hockey games in the city of Edmonton. This place has it all. Tremendous food, tremendous drinks, tremendous specials. Absolutely love it here. It's kind of becoming my second home now this year, too, considering how many times I've done this show with you.
And I can tell the actual love that you're starting to grow for Greta Bar Yeg. Hey, we are paid to do these things, but after the game, we're not paid to be here, baby. And Zachary, we shut this bitch down on Friday night and Sunday. If I wasn't cross-eyed, I probably would have stayed here, but I needed to go home on that one. Great weekend of hockey for the Edmonton Oilers. Hopefully it can continue on today. But Zachary, did you notice my nice sweater that I'm wearing today?
I did. I love that.
Because it is a special occasion today. Today is the 9th birthday of one Ben Stelter. The Stelters actually came down to the office today to drop off some of these bad boys and people. You know it, especially this pre and post game chat. You guys are the best at donating to the Ben Stelter Foundation, which is where all of our super chats go. And hey, we all know it. They do awesome things supporting families that have members dealing with that horrible disease and even giving them awesome experiences. They send families to Disney World, Disneyland, all over the place. It truly is an incredible thing. They've had a horrible, horrible situation happen to them, but they have taken so much beauty out of it and have really inspired the rest of the city, me specifically. Come on now, donate Ben Stelter Foundation. Also, Popeyes today. I believe if you go down there and you buy and get something from there, the proceeds go to the Ben Stelter Fund, or just simply throwing some super chats in here today, and we will read them out because, hey, we love the Stelters. We love Ben. We miss them, and we love the Stelter family. We get to partner with them, do some events for them, and actually get to meet them and know them as people. They are even better in person than what you see online. Zachary, happy 9th birthday to Ben.
Happy birthday, Ben.
Also, not entirely sure where you get these bad boys, but looks pretty good on me.
I know that's a Wendelin lamb chop design.
Yeah, right
there. We'll have to figure that out. Figure out where we can get you guys some of these too.
We'll let you know. We'll get some links in there as well. But I am sweating my dick off right now wearing this thing. So quickly, I want to give a shout out to Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Zach, tell them about it.
Shout out to our friends over at Odd Company, the best, most delicious nation beer. Head down to your local liquor stores to find it. And if they don't have it, just do what my dad did in Calgary and ask them to bring it in. And any liquor store would be happy to bring it to your nearest establishment.
It actually is that simple.
It really is.
I've done it to all the liquor stores around my house in Sherwood Park, and I've just said, hey, boys, it's as quick as going on the iPad, the computer, order a couple of those bad boys. Perfect for game day, perfect for every day of the week. But before we talk oil, let's get caught up into the chat. Austin, he's in. First comment of the day. This is our time, our house. It's our boy Ben's big day. That means birthday dubs incoming. Honorary shotguns, Bordzy. This is not a drill, my ON fam. Fire up this goddamn band Hope will never die. All of that capitalized. I feel like I should have screamed all of that because that's the energy Austin's bringing on a Tuesday evening. Southpaw, hope will never die. Let's get this W tonight for Ben. Cup yeah.
Cup yeah.
Shout out. Mr. Burns says she can't stick around because she's got school, but she still adds in her cup. Yeah. Shay's in. Let's go Oilers. K. Waddy. LFG Oil. Fighting Amish. Let's go Oilers fans. Big game tonight. 6 more wins to go. Year of the cup, if you will. Now, job's not finished. According to the talking heads in the mainstream media, they're already talking about Oilers, Panthers, and hey, as much as I love that, we got to get through the Dallas Stars first. They are an incredibly good team. Steve, cup yeah. LFG.
Cup yeah.
Kiana, beautiful day for an Oilers dub. Let's go cup yeah. Beautiful day today. Pretty stormy out yesterday. I also said in front of our friend from Jacksonville, Justin, everyone should listen to the Real Life podcast because he was the guest on there. One of my favorite people I've ever met through the Nation Citizens and whatnot. This Justin guy, absolute stud. He also lives, his house backs onto the Players Championship golf course. Invited me, Zachary. Maybe we should make that a 2-man expedition. But hey, listen to Real Life. He was awesome. But I said to him, horrible storm here in Edmonton last night. He laughed in my face as he is from Jacksonville, Florida. He said, Bordzy, what are you even talking about? Kind of felt like an idiot. Bella, let's go Oilers. Cup yeah.
Cup yeah.
Dylan, let's go Oilers. Cup yeah.
Cup yeah.
Happy birthday, Ben. And then D. White, good point here. McDavid will not let the Oilers lose on Ben's birthday. Book with the W. Boys, a lot of happy birthdays in here. A lot of cup years in here. Zach, even you're in here. Said, what's up, Chad? And then we've got super chats. As I mentioned, today's a special day, Ben's 9th birthday, and all of your super chats any day, but especially today, are headed to the Ben Stelter Foundation. And first one, Bob Stoffer, the Bob Father for Ben. Let's go tonight, people. And then we did say on ONE, if you want to donate $9 for the 9th birthday, you can. Amanda put in a cool 9, another 9 for Ben's 9th birthday. Let's get a big La Bamba for our boy tonight. Lance Kane, $20. We're on our way to get Popeye's chicken for dinner right now. Hey, I love Oodle Noodle. This is the one day that I will allow you to not eat Oodle Noodle and go to a non-sponsored establishment in Popeyes. What's your Popeyes order?
Love the chicken sandwich.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
Spicy chicken sandwich. Just keep it simple.
Come on now. Michael, $6.99. Happy birthday, Benny. Go Oil. So, yep, a little programming note tonight, we do have Devin Dubnyk on both pre and post game. So he will talk with us for the final 10-15 of pregaming. And then, of course, hopefully break down another awesome Stuart Skinner performance because it sucked to not have Doobie on Sunday because I thought Stu, well, he didn't get the shutout. That was the most he's been tested so far since he's taken over the net again. And he was damn good in that hockey game. The MVP. You the real MVP. Shout out Kevin Durant. But that game on Sunday, afternoon matinee, brother, no problem for the Edmonton Oilers. I know a lot of fans, even me included, was worried. Felt very weird getting to the bar at 11 a.m. We found a way to power through, but I was worried. Will the Rogers Place faithful be drunk enough? I knew that they would be drunk, but I didn't know if they could get there enough. Dude, it was no problem. The Oilers, and as I said, hey, it's their biggest margin of victory in the postseason, but I would not say that it was their best effort. Dallas outshot them 34-24, even had some stretches in the second period. They grabbed all the momentum. Shots in that middle frame, 21-7 for the Dallas Stars, but the Oilers, they stuck with it. Robo scores that goal. Connor McDavid, backbreaker with 18 seconds left in that second period. And then, hey, kind of just unraveled from there for the Dallas Stars. I will say I thought they were trying to cheat for offense a little bit. No better example of that than Zach Hyman sprung alone on a breakaway, walking along the blue line, completely untouched. But it wasn't their best effort. But to me, I was super impressed by it because you could argue that for some of that game, maybe even most of it, they were getting outplayed by the Dallas Stars team, yet they still won by 5 goals. They took advantage of their opportunities. Their special teams got the job done. And then your boy Stuart Skinner. Sometimes you do just need your goaltender to be the best player out there. And he was fantastic at the .970 save percentage in that game. But Zachary, you kind of picking up what I'm laying down here about Sunday. It was a 5-goal victory. It was awesome. But the Stars did grab a lot of that game, and that is what makes the victory so impressive to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Stuart Skinner was able to slam the door the way that he did was absolutely huge. You know, the Oilers were able to go out there, build up a 2-0 lead in that first period, and they kind of were able to a certain extent, I guess, coast through the remainder of the game, which is kind of what they did, right? The second period, Dallas had a really strong push, probably one of their strongest pushes beyond, in game one there. And the third period, I thought, a little score effects kind of taking place there. Dallas really was chasing that game quite a bit. I thought the Oilers did a good job in kind of trying to lock it down as best they could. But again, the real MVP, Stuart Skinner, man, that was a massive, massive performance from him. Probably the first game where you could, beyond the shutouts that he's had, where he really stole a game for them.
He won them that hockey.
We talked about it in the game or two before about, Skinner needed to kind of find his middle ground. And he absolutely did that. He led in a goal in the playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers won a hockey game. That was huge. It's huge for the Oilers, huge for Stuart Skinner. He looks absolutely dialed in right now. Dialed in.
He got above an 830, and it wasn't completely perfect. Because going into that last game, it was either perfect or below 830 save percentage. But, dude, you just said it. He's dialed. He's a completely new man right now, and maybe we shouldn't be surprised because this is kind of exactly what happened in last year's postseason. I don't understand why he needs to go through the trials and tribulations. I wish he didn't need to, but damn it, when he plays that good, I'll deal with a little bit of anything. Maybe we'll just start next season with Calvin Pickard for the first game of the NHL playoffs and try to get ahead of it. But either way, Stuart Skinner, he's been fantastic. He stopped, 33 of 34 in that game, had the 970 save percentage, but he just had momentum saves. He had the saves, man. He robbed Matt Duchene right in front with his glove. He made that lateral side-to-side save on Mikael Granlund in that very first period. And, brother, don't look now. Not only does Stuart Skinner have a 930 save percentage in this series, which is only a 3-game sample size, but as a whole in these NHL playoffs, Stuart Skinner is now at a 902 save percentage, officially above 900. Boom, 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 boom. They said we couldn't do it. Haters, where you at now? But kind of talking wise here, that second period, oh, shit, they just scored that goal. Actually, they're replaying the game right now. Liam Bichelle, Robo, who actually tipped it home. He didn't even know he tipped it home. They kind of took over the game in that second period. I mentioned the shots. They were 21-7. The ice was tilted. That was the quietest, I'll say, Rogers Place got. Would not say it was quiet by any means, but you could kind of feel that little bit of energy, negative energy inside the building. And then the Stars, well, Zach, they were feeling it so much, and this is all said tongue-in-cheek, feeling it so much, they decided to start taking out the Oilers left, right, and center. We see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins go fucking flying into the boards where I believe it was Liam Bichelle. He didn't have a stick in his hand. I think he was just trying to make a play with the skate, and then he ends up getting tangled with Nuge. Nuggy went flying into the boards, shoulder first. I was terrified. What was your reaction? Because everyone in here went butthole clenched.
I thought he was about to crumble and turn into dust. He hit those boards so damn hard that I could feel it in my body. And I was not even anywhere near the arena. Yeah, that was freaky, man. And, there was another one, too, later in that game. Trent Frederick got knocked into the post really hard. The guys were getting tossed around a little bit out there. But credit to both of those guys. They were able to kind of gut through it and stay in that game. Nuge left the period a little bit early, and everybody's like, ooh. But, man, he stuck through that and really gutted one out for the team.
3-point night, 3-point afternoon. Damn it, there's one for me there. 7 points in 3 games so far this series. But you mentioned Frederick. There was also Connor Brown, which I hate to report that Alex Petrovic absolutely ran through him and blew him up along the boards. I didn't think it was a suspension-worthy hit. I can understand a penalty on there. I would have liked a penalty on that one, but I don't know. To me, it was kind of first point of contact, chest, and then goes through your face. But I don't know when I'm slowing it down. Either way, Connor Brown got banged up. He left that game, did not return. And unfortunately, this evening, is not going to be playing for these Edmonton Oilers. That sucks for Brownie. It's just another realm of playoff hockey. He's not the only one hurt, not the only one trying to play through injury. And Brownie, he's been awesome in this postseason, dude. He has 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points in 14 games. But he's brought that awesome offensive production, the depth scoring that we so desperately need. He's bringing the jets, bringing the wheels every single shift. He's been a dog on the forecheck. And then, oh, yeah, he's one of the Edmonton Oilers' best penalty killers on the team right now. So Nobby didn't officially say, I believe, if he's in concussion protocol. I'm going to take 2 stones together, rub them together, and assume that is what we're doing here. Sucks for Connor Brown. Might be a couple games here, and he's been awesome in these playoffs. I've called him the Fernando Pisani. This could be a big loss, but one I do think the Oilers can afford. But thoughts on the hit and being without Connor Brown tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens out there. Connor Brown leading the team in this series in penalty kill minutes among all the Oilers forwards. He's played 521 on the PK. The next closest forward is actually Zachary Martin Hyman at 349. So going to have to be some adjustments out there. Going to be curious to see what happens. I can imagine a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins getting a little bit of bump in ice time. I'm mistaken. Matthias Janmark actually leads in PK with 6 minutes, but Brown close second at 5:21. So, I think that's something to watch out here tonight for sure. We don't know exactly what the lines are going to look like either. Kind of saving it to the last minute. Same thing that Dallas Stars are doing as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye for when those things break.
And that's why you pregame with Bordzy and Langsy, if you will. Never a good thing when somebody gets injured, especially with a hit like that. You just saw it on your screen. That sucks for our boy Brownie. But this Edmonton Oilers team is more prepared to deal with something like this than they ever have been before. Gone are the days of Derek Ryan, Jujhar Khaira, guys like that needing to come into the lineup in moments like this, because tonight, this evening, Victor Arvidsson is going to make his return to the Edmonton Oilers lineup, expected to play with Matthias Janmark and Kasperi Kapanen. It was a tweet from Jack Michaels. You just mentioned it. We don't fully know the lineup, but he tweeted that, and we do know that those three, that trio, did look pretty good as the Edmonton Oilers' fourth line before the end of the Vegas series, where Arvi got taken out for Kasperi Kapanen. And I didn't think Arvidsson was playing bad, really, at any point, and he was doing things in his limited ice time, and his time on bum was a little bit less. Expecting that one to be back up. But in 9 games so far this postseason, he's got 1 goal, 3 assists. And, Nobby had a quote on his change to the lineup. He was kind of talking about this one about Brownie, even if Ekholm was going to come back. And he said, hey, the same thing happened when we changed up our forwards. We took out Arvidsson, and he'd been playing pretty well. We felt that our team needed something at that moment. And unfortunately, he just had to be that guy. Not that there was anything against his game. It was just a change. You might have to take out somebody who doesn't deserve to be taken out. I'd argue Connor Brown didn't deserve to be taken out, Alex Petrovic. But Victor Arvidsson, you got to think NHL veteran. He's played a lot of playoff games before. Really tough for a guy's ego like that to be put into the press box for a considerable amount of time. You're always happy when the Oilers move on, but of course it had to be Kasperi Kapanen that scored the Game 5 overtime winner against the Vegas Golden Knights. Thoughts on Arvi being the one that was chosen to enter back into the lineup tonight? This has all been confirmed by Chris Knobloch, and what do you think he's going to bring to the lineup on that fourth line tonight?
I'm really excited to see what Arvidsson does. I agree with you, Bordzy. I thought he was playing good before he got taken out of the lineup. And it happens, right? There's going to be times where, guys make a change or the coaching staff makes a change. And I think it also just speaks to the depth that this team has. I mean, Jeff Skinner, for example, played so good down the back half of the season and into the, the last couple of weeks of the regular season. He played the one playoff game. That's been it for him.
1 point.
Yes, he's sniffed the lineup since then, right? So what I think is really going to be interesting to watch with Arvidsson, we'll get a little bit more to this in Bordzy's Bankroll in our betting segment later in the show. But this is a quote from Victor Arvidsson today, courtesy of our friend Jason Greger. Quote, I guess they wanted to make a change, and that's what they did. Coming back in, I have to play the same way I did and I've always done. Bring energy, get pucks on net, bodies to the net, forecheck, and play good defensively. I think I should be out there. I'm happy to be back, and I think I played well when I was playing, end quote. That is a player who is feeling a little bit bitter about sliding out of the lineup. And to me, I think this is going to be a highly, highly motivated Victor Arvidsson out there tonight. He's a guy that I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on here this evening for a lot of reasons.
Hungry dog runs faster, and something's telling me Victor Arvidsson's going to bring that dog per 60 this evening. Also, if he said he's getting back to his game, take the over on time on bum tonight for one Victor Arvidsson. We've also got a couple more super chats. Mr. Kate's in $9.99. I met your son the other day. Fantastic guy. Says 4-band Go Oilers. Cup yeah.
Cup yeah.
Threw some dogs in there as well. And then Austin, who we just met, and I believe is probably, he's literally
right there.
Literally right there. Yeah. I can actually see him right there. $27.99. Oil up. What kind of shot would have you fellas like RN? Yukon is oil country. He just told us he's the most northern fan we got from the Yukon, we do believe. Zach, if you had to pick, what's your go-to shot?
Anything but tequila. That is my rule. Anything but tequila.
I think I pretty much just go up to the Greta staff. We did it on the weekend on Friday, and I just go, it's like make me something good. And they always, it was like a coffee espresso.
I don't even know what the hell it was, but it was delicious.
Sir, Austin, One of those, please. One of something good I would enjoy. Let's go now. Need to know information courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that sweet, sweet Wilhauk name, made from 100% Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and their other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. For more information, head on over to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So you like some numbers? Well, here's some coming your way. The Oilers, 10-2 in their last 12 NHL playoff games, and they have outscored the Kings, the Knights, and the Dallas Stars by a combined score of 48-29. Not that good. Bordzy fucked that one up. Edmonton, now they have 8 players with at least 4+ goals in these playoffs in their last 12 games, which in those 12 games, 4 goals. That works out to being a 27-goal pace over an 82 regular season. So they would have 8 players on pace for 27 goals right now. John Klingberg, he scored in Game 7, which made him the 18th Edmonton Oiler to score a goal this postseason. They're deep, brother. They can do it all over the ice. In Edmonton, they're undefeated in Game 4s under head coach Chris Knobloch. 6-0 for the Edmonton Oilers. Shout out to Austin. Cup yeah from that guy right there.
Cup yeah.
And so they're 6-0 in Game 4s under Nobby. They're also 16-2 in Games 4-7 under Chris Knobloch. The only losses come in Game 5 to the Vancouver Canucks, and then the other one, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. But who cares about that? Connor Brown out. Victor Arvidsson expected to be in, while Matthias Ekholm is not expected to play in tonight's hockey game, still working his way back from injury. So these are not confirmed. We do not know what these lineup is going to be 100%. Pat, I guess you can throw up what Daily Faceoff has, because it kind of aligns with what Jack Michaels had told us earlier on the 4th line. But who knows? They've got Leon Draisaitl up with Connor McDavid and the worm, Corey Perry. So maybe going nuclear supernova. Once again, unconfirmed. Projected lineups here, which would mean the second line, Kane, Nooch with Zach Hyman, Freddie with Rico and Kapanen, Pods, Janmark, and Arvidsson, that 4th line that we talked about, and then your deep pairings expected to stay the same. But hey, we will let you know when we find out. We will find out together as a family, and we will talk it through. Trent Frederick just went flying into the net there as well. Yeah, there was a couple of dicey ones for the Edmonton Oilers on Sunday. For the Stars side of their need-to-know info, they are 11-17 when trailing in a 2-1 series, or trailing 2-1 in a series. They are 7-5, however, when they are the higher seed. However, Edmonton, 21-3 when they have a 2-1 series lead in their history. Also, they're 11-3 with that 2-1 lead when they are the lower seed. So they've already kind of handled the home ice advantage. Got to continue to do that tonight. But hey, history would tell you the Edmonton Oilers sitting pretty, if you will. A man who's not sitting pretty, but hopefully he is sitting. Actually, not hopefully. Rupe Hintz. Game time decision this evening for the Dallas Stars. He took part in pregame warmups before Game 3, but he did not look right. Didn't even left like halfway through the warmup. Couldn't even complete the entire thing. So then, as a result, Mikael Granlund centered the top line with Mikko Rantanen, and then Jason Robertson moved up as well. Robo did get the only goal of the game, but I'd still say he's been a little bit invisible in these NHL playoffs so far. And then Hintz, he did take part in morning skate yesterday. If that is worth anything to you, I don't know. The man must have had a jackhammer go off on his foot. Jake Onger had his worst game of the playoffs in Game 3, allowing 6 goals on 24 shots for a .750 save percentage. And in 3 games so far, there you see it on your screen. In total, he's got a .906. You see .889, .880, .750. And brother, that means he has an .842 save percentage against the Edmonton Oilers so far through these 3 games. Is it Otter? Is it Jakey? Is it Jacob? Everyone's been saying different things. We got to get on the same page here. What would you yell?
Anything. I like Jake. I like the Otter chant personally. I also saw somebody saying on Twitter that there was a U.S. backup that was going at some point during Game 3.
That one's creative.
Well.
I like that one.
Very creative. Very nice work from Oil Country on that one there. But I think the Otter one is kind of the way to go. Go with the nickname.
We've been yelling it now for a bit. Some people said because it's his nickname that it's like beneficial to him. I don't know. We've asked Devin Dubnyk about it. He says goalies don't even hear a single thing that we say.
I don't believe him.
I don't believe
I
that,
don't
and
believe
I will
him at
choose
all.
to scream all the way here from Greta Baryak. Let's go now. Sherwood Ford, a Giant storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giants. They've got their awesome Nation Valet service going on, people. You know the drill. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your work. They will pick up your vehicle. Doesn't even have to be a Sherwood Ford make or model. Could be anything. They will then drive it out to their shop, do whatever service, maintenance needs to be done, and they will drive that bad boy right on back to you before you even left for the workday, before you even need to leave on the weekend evening and go out for the night. Sherwood Ford, the Giant for a reason. So my storyline, key to victory, my storyline here, and I guess it's maybe not a storyline, win it for Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this Edmonton Oilers team, they are all aware that this is Ben's birthday. They know what he means to the city. They don't ever need extra motivation in the NHL playoffs. It's a swing game. You can grab the stranglehold against the Dallas Stars, but doesn't hurt to sprinkle in a little bit of that going on in there. Ben, we love you. We miss you. That play La Bamba would hit different on a night like tonight. I'll wear my sweater. I'll sweat my ass off inside this building if I have to do it. And I guess just more on the ice. I do think my key to victory, we'll talk about it with Devin Dubnyk. The Edmonton Oilers stay out of the box. I think they win this series, and they can do it handedly because through 9 periods now, and yes, the Stars looked better in the second period of Game 3. I just think that the Oilers keep this 5v5. It's not a okay, no, Bordzy, don't say what you're about to say because you'll get clipped here. But I think if they keep it 5v5, they will be the more dominant team, and they should end up winning this series. We saw it in Game 1. They took it to them. You take 3 penalties in under 6 minutes. Before you know it, bang, bang, boom, you allow 3 power play goals against. So keep it 5v5, also with no Connor Brown. I believe in the Oilers PK. That means more 97 and more 93. Come on, that's never a bad thing. But instead of challenging our PK, let's just stay out of the box this evening. Play smart on home ice. Zachary, you got a storyline or a key to victory?
Yeah, I think the stay out of the box one is really important. I mean, in Game 1 there, the Oilers did not do a very good job of staying out of the penalty box, as we all know. I think they've managed to kind of turn that around here in the last game or two. And I think that's what's been really impressive about this kind of turnaround for the Edmonton Oilers as well. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, too, you try not to look too far ahead of where you are right now. Obviously, it's a 2-1 series lead. The Oilers have a really good chance here to kind of end this series quickly over the next 2 games. And you take a look at what's happening out there in the Eastern Conference. The Carolina Hurricanes managed to come back and get a win against the Florida Panthers. That series is going to extend a little bit longer here. Very proud of you, Carolina. Oilers-Canes still has life in the final. It's not over.
Florida's blown a 3-0 lead before.
They have. So I think, you got to kind of look at that. And I think, the key to victory for me in this game and in the next game is going to be just win the game. End this series. Bury them. Finish it off. Give yourself a chance to get a little extra rest. Or in the same breath, match the amount of rest that the opposing team might have.
Exactly. I could also use some rest as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because unfortunately, I'm not going to be here and able to do Game 6 for pre and post. I'm at a wedding on Saturday down in Lethbridge. So Liam Horban would be doing that. Yeah. Methbridge. We also got some super chat in here from Mackay and Dry. Bars for Ben. HBD, Ben, you'd be 9, smiling down on us with a shine. Because of you, our Oilers are playing fine. You teach all of us to appreciate each day rather than wine. Cup year for Ben. Shout out Mackay and Dry. Shout out Ben and the entire Stelter family. Also, shout out Corey, who says we are live from, that's Italy, right? Is that Italy?
I think so.
I think that's Italy. Please confirm with me, Corey.
Where's Liam?
I don't get out very much. Liam's very good at the flag game. That's not my game. But yeah, the Edmonton Oilers, I also do say, they're in the driver's seat of this series. They've got an awesome chance here. Swing game, you go up 3-1. Hey, never over till it's over, but you're going to be feeling pretty good. There is a realm, and I don't want to put negativity out there. The Dallas Stars, if they were to have this game go the way they'd like, a 2-2 tie, and you do feel like that is Italy, right?
Trying to figure that out right now.
I think
it might be Mexico.
Oh, shit, it's Mexico. It's Mexico.
I think it's Mexico.
Okay, Mexico in here from everybody as well. All right, well, now we learn together.
There we go.
We learn together. We don't leave camp.
Not up on my flag knowledge right now, guys. It's more of an off-season.
Damn it, that was a tough look. That was a tough look for us. I didn't like that one very much. So once again, we are still waiting for some confirmation on the Edmonton Oilers lineup, but they should be hitting the ice in a couple of minutes. But until then, it's been projected that the Oilers would go supernova. Once again, we do not know, but I don't know. What do you kind of make of that? Because I do prefer the Edmonton Oilers when 97 and 29 are separated. And while Leon Draisaitl maybe has been putting up the points that you would kind of think, he also has 5 points in 3 games and has a point in every single game so far this series. Kind of sounds crazy to say that first part, but I don't know. What would you think if they were to go and do that with 97-29 and the worm is what's been talked about?
I like having them split up.
Yeah.
Because
Because you can still go back to it at any point you want.
They're going to play together. They over the last umpteen years, they've played about 30% of each game at 5-on-5 together, McDavid and Draisaitl. We've seen them utilize it in this series to perfection after a penalty kill, coming out, scoring a goal. To me, I think the lineup thing is pretty simple. You bump Kasperi Kapanen down to Connor Brown's spot on the third line, and you put Victor Arvidsson on the right wing beside Draisaitl and Podkolzin. Those guys played a ton of minutes together this season in the regular season, and they stuck with them for a long time, even when they weren't playing very great together, right? They're very familiar with each other's game. I think that's the way that I would prefer to see them go here, but I mean, even if they load it up off the start, like, I don't know how long it's going to last. I really think that they're showing they can win with this split lineup, and I think that's the way to go here.
It sucks for a pregame show because you want to dive in depth into all the lineup combos and things you can do. But for this Edmonton Oilers team, brother, your guess is as good as mine when it comes to these things. Depth charts, just recommendations for Chris Knobloch, in my opinion. But there is one guy who I think it's fair to say has been the Edmonton Oilers' best player this series, besides maybe Stuart Skinner, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Dude, he has been fantastic. Nuge! 7 points in 3 games so far. He scored big goals. He's been great at 5v5. He had 3 casual apples on Sunday afternoon while going flying into the boards, like I mentioned, from Lee and Michelle. He's been a menace on the PK as well. He's a jack of all trades, master of some of them. Remember through and through when it was like last year or something, and Nobby was like, Leon referred to him as the Nuge is a coach's dream and coach's favorite. Well, how could he not be, brother, when he plays like this, all situations? Tonight, who knows? He might go from wing back to second line center with Hyman and Evander Kane. We will let you know when we know, but that would be a trio I would also be down for. And that's the beauty of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He can do everything you ask of him. We've even seen him play with Kane and Hyman at points throughout this postseason. He's been great. He can be a complimentary player 297. He can also drive his own line down the middle of the ice. He can take defensive responsibilities when you need him to do that. So it is beautiful to see the longest tenured Oiler, the guy that's been here from the get-go right now in the clutch in the biggest moments of the postseason. The Nuge has been huge.
He absolutely has. Over the last 2 years, 4 goals and 11 points in 9 games played. That's more than Leon Draisaitl. 3 goals, 9 points in 9 games played for him. So Nuge has been awesome. It was a huge performance. He's had a couple of really big games here in this series for the team. And I think that's kind of the beauty of, if they do decide to go and load up that top line and go, have them go head-to-head with that top line of Dallas, whatever the rendition of that looks like. I think it really frees up this second line to get on the scoreboard in a really big way. And they're going to need to find a way to do so if that's the way they roll with it tonight.
Patrick Zinni said, Bordzy, all your bankrolls are going on my parlay. Woo! Let's ride, brother, oil country. Let's ride. Also, Soggy Corpse is in $5. Happy birthday, Ben. The boys will win for you. Damn right. The boys are rolling. This train don't stop. Copy, yeah.
Copy, yeah.
There it is. Play La Bamba, baby. Cheryl's in cup here as well. Lance Kane, I have successfully picked up the Popeyes chicken. Attaboy, Lance. Let's go now to the starting goaltender report, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. It's summertime, people. May long weekend's already passed. It's about to be June. That is nuts that the month of May, we've already done, this is the 6th week of NHL playoffs. And I've been downtown for every single game, and I have yet to be sick of it. Shout out to Power Sports and Marine. Get all your summer outdoor toy fun there, or just like Short Ford the Giant, they can service your boats, your motorcycles, your scooters, whatever you need. They can do it all in the heart of Sherwood Park. And trust me, you can trust Sherwood Park, God damn it. Pat, pull it up for me. The tail of the tape between this series, 3 games apiece. Zach, some Dallas Stars fans out there might think that we had these things flipped, but no, in fact, it is Stuart Skinner that has the 201 goals against average and a .930 save percentage with 1 shutout in there as well. Jake Ottinger, Jacob, 1-2 record with a 402 goals against and an .842 save percentage. So, Stuart Skinner, he's got these fantastic numbers. But Zachary, those have come between games 1 to 3, when usually Stuart Skinner is at his lowest, I will say, because may I remind you that Stuart Skinner is Mr. Game 4. He has the highest save percentage of any goaltender in playoff history in Game 4s. He's 5-0, 132 goals against, or 132 or 153. No, 132, 2 shutouts, 952 save percentage. He's the man from games 4 to 7. And the thing is, the Oilers, we all know the numbers, 16-2 in games 4 to 7 under Chris Knoblauch. But I think Stu, he adjusts as Chris Knoblauch adjusts. Shocker, the team plays good in front of you. The goaltender plays well. Stuart Skinner's already been on fire. He's had his factory reset. He got yanked for 6 games. Calvin Pickard came in. And the fact that Stu's already looked this good before the team has had their 3 games to adjust, and where he becomes Mr. Game 4. What do you expect from Stu tonight?
Another big game from him.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it's where it's kind of the status quo now for Stuart Skinner here in these playoffs. You know, it was interesting. After Game 3, he was asked, like, he's had a lot of success against Dallas in the last few years, and he kind of got asked, well, against a certain, like, are there certain teams where you just feel like you have it a little bit more? He said, no, I disagree.
No, he's lying. Well, ask Doobie. We should ask Doobie.
In 9 playoff games against the Dallas Stars in his career last year and this year, he is 6-3 with a 194 and a 925 save percentage against the Dallas Stars. He has been absolutely lights out against them last season and this season again here. I'm not expecting that to change. I mean, I got all the confidence in the world in Skinner right now here. And, knock on wood, of course, if, something happens and there's a falter, right? You got Calvin Pickard there sliding into the backup spot again tonight. He's back healthy, which is just great to see. Great to have him around.
He's in the chat,
again,
too.
That's great to see as well. Always nice to jump into the pregame chat, probably seconds before they hit the ice at Rogers.
Hey, the boys get hype. The boys need to know Bordzy's bankroll before they hit the ice. The other guy, Jake Ottinger, as I mentioned, that was his worst performance of the postseason so far. 6 goals, 24 shots for a 750 save percentage. Like I mentioned, they were cheating for offense and all those things. The last time I talked to Doobie, I asked him, hey, I think it was with you on Friday. And I said, hey, the Oilers haven't figured out kind of dealio. And Doob's kind of put me in my place and said, hey, I get maybe why you'd ask that question, but no. I think Jake Ottinger is an incredibly good goaltender. But the more this goes along, this is a sample size of last postseason and this one. This year, through 2 rounds, 13 games, Jake Ottinger had a 919. Now against the Edmonton Oilers, 3 games stretch only, but it's an 842 save percentage, where last year it was a 918, and then he finished with a 902, I believe, in the 6 games of the Western Conference Final. Hey, I get it. Jake Ottinger is one of the league's best. I know he had some interviews, some comments that he's incredibly confident in his game. He is not worried. But, brother, the Edmonton Oilers offense is a different animal, a different beast than many other teams out there, and he can still feel confident all he wants. I don't think they've figured him out by any means, but this Oilers offense is lethal. Jake Ottinger is finding this out firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. The Oilers have been deadly here in this series so far. 9 goals for versus 3 against at 5-on-5. They're shooting well at 14.75%. They're finding a way to get to the areas here as well. And I think that's something that's really been interesting to see. 4 of the Oilers' goals at 5-on-5 have come from high danger areas. So they're getting to the crease. They're getting pucks on net. They're getting pucks in deep. They're chasing them down. And they're establishing strong cycles in Dallas' zone, too. That's really wearing them down. So, it's kind of crazy to see the numbers here for these 2 goaltenders. But, man, been really fascinating to see.
Patrick, we're going to do a double ad read here. First off for Budweiser, because shout out to them. This Bud's for you. They've been brewing beer in Edmonton for 45 years. Zachary, something tells me we might have a couple of those this evening as well. They do awesome things. They just partnered with legendary Edmontonian Mark Messier. They've got their beautiful Edmonton cans all across the city, where Lance Kane, I keep telling people, liquor house on the north side. Lance said there was an entire array, a whole stack of cases over there. Maybe they're already gone by the weekend. Lance, maybe you can confirm with me if you think they'll still be there. But shout out to Budweiser, and you can get a lot of Budweiser down at Greta Bar Yeg, my humble abode, where we are right now, where I basically live. Been here all playoffs, and we're going to be here all playoffs long. Ideally, until the Stanley Cup Finals.
I got a couple more weeks in me, Bordzy. I'm
not fucking done yet. Are you shitting me? I'm not done. The sun's just starting to pop out now. It's the end of May. It's going to be June. Come on down to Greta Bar Yeg. Rupe Hintz taking warm-up right now. Now, he did that in Game 3. Shout out, Greta. They've got their 550 Bud Lights. They've got $20 pitchers, and they've got half off wings on every single game day, which means it's Wing Wednesday every single time there's an Oilers game. Zachary, what flavor are you getting tonight? And don't say chicken, because that's what Liam kept saying to me on Friday.
I've been a dill pickle guy through and through, but I feel like it might be a 2-order night of wings. Get one early on in me, maybe in the third period again.
Rally wings.
Yeah, rally wings. So I'm going to start with some dill pickle to kick things off. Then I'm going to have to take a look at the menu. I haven't really done that. Just kind of went with dill pickle right off the hop. See what else they got for options. But I know you like a couple different flavors.
I'm a sweet chili guy. Dill pickle's pretty. The dill pickle fries. Let's get some dill pickle fries. Some dill pickle fries. Maybe I'll order some Popeyes as well. I'm eating today, boys. I'm eating. I just want to say in here, John Suh says, I'm in Northern Ireland, mate.
Have a wee pint of Guinness for me.
You did that very well. So we still are unconfirmed Dallas Stars lineup. We might find it here. Rupe Hintz is taking the lineup. Zach Hyman's giving a beautiful interview right now. The last game, this is what they went with. This is what we project if Hintz is in. So it would be Granlund, Hintz with Mikko Rantanen, Marchment, Duchesne, Seguin, Ben, Johnston, Dodonov. Robo in the last game went from the fourth line to the first line. Outhouse to the penthouse. It's been a weird one for Robo because he is way too good of a player. Sam Steele, Colin Blackwell expected to be in. This is all unconfirmed, projected, and we will let you know before we bounce out of the way, because with the NHL playoffs, they don't actually drop the puck to like 6:20, so then everything gets a little pulled back. You've got some rosters here?
Nothing yet. I'll let anybody know when we got some updates.
Beautiful. The only guy that I really want to talk about before we move along, first one, I don't like Liam Bichelle. I'm sick of him. Kind of making a name for himself as a little bit of a playoff pest, like one of those guys you'd love to have on your team. You hate to kind of play against him. He just angers me. He's been injuring Edmonton Oilers. But the guy that I mentioned, Robo there, Jason Robertson, so promoted to line one in game 3. He did score the goal, technically, to which he didn't even know that he did that. Pete DeBoer, after the game, was actually giving Robo props, and he said, I thought that was his best game in a long time, which I think is saying something more than that. But he's been largely invisible this series and been largely invisible these playoffs. Last year, he had 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points in 19 games. This year, he has 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points in 9 games. I think he might still be playing through injury right now, but the Stars, they need Robo to find his game, and I really wouldn't be that confident that he's going to, because it's a classic thing. Okay, he's been cold now for 6 weeks. Is Robo too good of a player that he's going to stay cold for this, keep going another week, or is he going to find his game eventually? Where do you come out with Robo?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a great player.
I like just saying Robo, too.
Yeah,
it's fun to say.
Great nickname. Way to shorten that one up really nice there. I think he's a great player. I really do. I've liked him for a long time. I do wonder if he is still kind of dealing with injury. He was hurt in, the last regular season game for the Dallas Stars. They went 0-7 down the stretch in the regular season. It was some tough scenes out there down in Dallas. But, yeah, I think he's a great player. I think he's still somebody you absolutely need to keep an eye on wherever he is in the lineup. So I'm really curious to see what happens with this lineup today. I thought he looked really good up on that top line with Granlund and Rantanen. I think they were the best that line has been all series long. And I feel like otherwise, the Oilers have done a pretty good job of, kind of trying to think of a pun here. Rupeing in that top line when Hintz is there. God, that was absolutely terrible.
They were pooping on it. There it is, baby. I use Poupe Hintz a lot on Sunday. Let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And there you can bet on player props, game props, money lines, puck lines, series winners, cup winners, cup year winners, you might even be able to say. And shout out to them. Download the app today. Must be 19 or older to play. And if you're going to play, Pat, give me eye contact here. Bring it on the camera, sorry. Keep waiting. This went committed too long. Please play responsibly and only bet what you're willing to lose. Patrick, you said you're riding with the bankroll, but be smart about it. I can't lie to you, dude. The bankroll's been getting a little caved in lately. First one we got, the only one that hasn't been getting caved in through 3 games, Evan Bouchard, 1+ point. It's -175. He has 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points in 14 games this postseason. He also has 8 points in his last 6 games. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I might be keeping Bouchard on here. If he hits it again, I'm just not touching it. I'm just going to keep rolling it over on the Bouch. Then, come on, it's Ben's birthday. It's Connor McDavid night. 2+ points, -110. He had 2 goals in game 3. First time I bet on him to get 3 shots. He'd hit it in 8 straight. Scored 2 goals. Only had 2 shots. Damn, that is efficient, and I won't complain. He's already got 5 points in this series. Expecting Connor McDavid to do Connor McDavid things, and then I went with the Leon anytime goal plus 115. If he is going to be back on the first line with Connor, then I love this one, obviously on the Oilers power play. He scored in game 1. He hasn't scored in games 2 and 3. However, he has a point in every single game so far this series. Tell me Leon's gone 2 games without a goal. Book it. Zachary, which of these 3 bets do you like the most? Also, honorable mention, Oilers money line and Jake Wallman 3 blocks is plus 132 at Bet365. His last couple games were 3, 4, and 2 in some order. You like that one?
I like that.
It's juicy
like
too, 132.
Juicy.
But which of those 3 do you like?
Well, listen, status quo over here. I love them all, right? I love all of them.
Never placed a bet I didn't love. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely, right? That's why you lay them, right? For me, I like the Leon one, though. 5 points so far for him, but it feels like it's been too quiet.
Yeah,
it's been a quiet 5 points for Leon Draisaitl, especially if he's going to be up on that top line the entire game. I could see them absolutely making some noise, so I'm going to roll with that one. We got lines for the Edmonton Oilers, courtesy of our friend Bob Stauffer, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman on the top line. Second line, you got Leon Draisaitl centering Podzilla and Corey Perry. Line 3, Adam Henrique, Evander Kane, and Kasperi Kapanen. Cheeks Klapanen. The fourth line is Matthias Janmark, Victor Arvidsson, and Trent Frederick. On the blue line, everything is staying the same. Kulak, Bush, Nurse Stetch, Wally, and Klingberg.
And then Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard on the bench because he is back. And you know who else is back on Pregaming? Our pal Devin Dubnyk, and his appearances are brought to you by Tourism Jasper this summer. Find your happy place in Jasper, from hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire. Happiness finds you here. Jasper is open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. So drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late, because your best summer memories are not behind you. They are waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Plan your trip at jasper.travel/summer as we bring in the aforementioned former legendary Edmonton Oilers goaltender in one, Devin Dubnyk, who dupes. Dude, I missed you on Sunday. I wish we could have talked about that game together. Nothing quite like a 6-1 beatdown on a Sunday afternoon when it's 25 degrees outside in Edmonton. You know it. That doesn't come very often, so we're going to enjoy them. And let's just say Bordzy had a hell of a Sunday fun day, but we kind of talked about it, Dubes. Curious to get a little of your opinion. Also, how did you golf in said golf tournament on Sunday? But the Oilers, they won by 5, and I wouldn't say it was their best performance. Like, Dallas grabbed momentum in the second period. They looked very good at points. Shots in that second period were 21-7. But because the Dallas Stars gave the Oilers their best punch and they still won by 5 goals, I think it's all that more impressive the Edmonton Oilers found a way to win that one. We didn't get to break it down with you. What'd you see? If you caught any of the highlights, what'd you think? Stuart Skinner also was incredible, but thoughts on Sunday's Game 3, a W.
Yeah, it's got to be demoralizing if you're Dallas, right? Because you've been kind of dominated. We talked about before that game, 110 of the 120 minutes were kind of dominated by the Oilers, minus the penalty kill collapse. Then Dallas comes out and they play a really good game. They're generating more scoring chances than they have in the past. Probably outchanced the Oilers in that game, and then they run into Stuart Skinner, and Stu hasn't been asked to be great. He has been great. He's getting shutouts and all this, but he hasn't been asked to stop a ton of high quality scoring chances. Dallas came with their push, and he had an answer for every one of them except for one. So as a Dallas team, when you've been struggling to get those chances and get that offensive momentum going, and they finally do, and then they run into a hot Stuart Skinner, it's got to be demoralizing for him, because he really did. He played incredible. He kept the score the way that it was until the Oilers unleashed. And that's really going into the first point. The first key to this game is foot on the gas, because if that is demoralizing for Dallas and they're not feeling great, they feel like they gave a really good punch there and got stifled. This is that time. I kind of look at that Game 5 of the LA series where Edmonton, a little different scenario, but Edmonton dominated game 3 and 4, especially the overtime. the overtime game was like the entire overtime they played in their end. And they went into LA and they throttled them. And I think this is an opportunity for Edmonton to just foot on the gas. If they can get a couple in the first period and get the building rocking in there, it's going to be overwhelming for Dallas. And there might just be, they might have planted a small seed of doubt into Jake Ottinger's mind, because there were goals going in on Jake Ottinger that we have not seen go in this playoffs. And so you start to see that little bit of uncharacteristic play out of Jake Ottinger, and it makes you start to wonder if there's a little seed of doubt in there. And if the Oilers can jump on that early and this place gets rocking, that can become an overwhelming feeling when you're the other team.
Give me a couple orders. That's what the home ice advantage is all about. Also, Rupe Hintz is confirmed in the lineup. But Zachary, you got one.
Yeah, Jason Robertson on the top line with Hintz and Mikko Rantanen as well. Doobie, wanted to ask about the penalty kill. Obviously, losing a guy like Connor Brown there, he's been an integral part of it all season long. Second in forward ice time on the PK so far this series. Obviously, staying out of the box is a real key. But, when the Oilers do find themselves in penalty trouble, what do you want to see from them? What have you liked from them? And how do you think they adjust without Connor Brown?
Yeah, I mean, he's quick, right? And that's what they've been playing, is that we talk about the forward switch is high, and they got to have guys going, because when you're playing that way, if you don't have that jump and that quickness, that's when you fall behind a little bit, and those seams and everything open up. They got to be jumping, they got to be quick. Connor Brown plays a big part of that because of his speed and his explosiveness. So we'll see who fills in for him. But I just like to, again, I'd like to continue. I'd like to see a little more structure out of the Oilers. I like the pressure at the start. Got to get the clears. I think most important thing is staying out of the box, because it's not just the Oilers PK, it's anybody. When you are constantly in the box, it throws off everything. It allows the other power play to start to feel it. They got their best players on the ice more often than not. Your lines are all screwed up because you don't have all of your best players. McDavid will come on and he'll kill second unit, try to get some chances. But I have liked the PK better, not just the end zone, but they're getting 2-on-1s left, right, and center on shorthanded. And so if Dallas is going to play with fire that way, I don't hate it nearly as much, because we're getting chances the other way. So clears when you're on. Clears. They got, if they're going to be aggressive on the entries, be aggressive at the start. But when they do get set up in zone, I just want to see a little more structure, not as much running around, because once they're set up and guys are moving the puck around, again, you got the 5 best guys on the other team, you start chasing them around, they're going to move it quicker than you can skate. So I'd like to see a little more structure out of the Oilers if they do get stuck in their zone. Obviously, saves from Skinner, and you're going to need some blocks at that point as well.
You mentioned the 2-on-1s. If you get one and you're 6 feet staring directly in front of the goaltender, if you're Janmark and Brownie, for the love of God, just rip that fucking puck. Also, Connor McDavid's on the PK right now, and you mentioned some of those 2-on-1s going the other way. No Brownie. Maybe that means more 97. I've never complained when I see more 97 on the ice, and I don't think I'm going to start now. The one thing in Game 3 that we will say, Doobie, is defensively for the Oilers, there were some breakdowns. There were some turnovers in their own end, some clears where they couldn't get it out. Dallas Stars had them hemmed in. That's something I think the Oilers have to clean up, because in Game 3, they made some of those errors, and Stuart Skinner was there to bail them out. He had glove save robberies on Duchesne. He robbed Granlund going side to side laterally, which is all anyone ever talks about with Stuart Skinner. So what can you say about, they got to tighten it up defensively, or Stuart Skinner, Mr. Game 4, I might add to you, might just have to stand on his head again.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully not. I think that's a good wake-up call for the Oilers, right? And here's the thing. That's your job as a goalie. Steal one once in a while. Nobody's asking Stu or Calvin Pickard. Nobody was asking him to go out there and steal hockey games. But every once in a while, you got to go do it. And Stuart Skinner did it that game. Pickard did it in the Vegas overtime game. And so it's not every night, but that's got to be, a rejuvenating for Edmonton, that they didn't play their best. They were sloppy. They were turning pucks over and getting these chances. And what happened previously in these playoffs when that happened? Pucks were in the back of the net at a high rate. And this time, they weren't in the back of the net. So they can go back, they can watch the video, figure out what they're doing. I think it's pretty straightforward. It's just execution. It's the sloppy play, the turnovers. They got away with it. And obviously, they didn't get away with a 6-1 win, but they were getting the saves. Stu was awesome, but you don't want to do that every single game, and they haven't. They've been so good defensively, consistently good defensively. So they can win a game 6-1 on possibly one of their sloppier defensive efforts. that's a great sign to reset and get back to the defense they were playing and go win a game 6-1 because you shut them down defensively and you got all the offensive guns that you have.
You mentioned it, all those breakdowns, some of those errors. They still won by 5 goals. Damn it, Sunday was an awesome day. Pat, can you pull up the visual for the Oilers lines right now? Dubby, I'm just curious before we let you go here. What do you think about these slight change-ups in the line? So the top line, McDavid, Nugent-Hyman, they're going to stay together. But now it's Pods, Dry, and Corey Perry instead of one Kasperi Kapanen. Victor Arvidsson obviously slides into the lineup on the fourth line with Freddie and Janmark. We were kind of discussing, it was discussed that maybe they would go supernova with Connor and Leon. They're not going to do that. Just thoughts overall to look at this lineup. Also, shout out Calvin Pickard. I like seeing him back on this graphic. It's good to have 2 goaltenders who've been on fire these playoffs. But thoughts on the lineup in general. Corey Perry, kind of specifically on the second line over Kapanen.
Well, this is what's fun about the Oilers, right? One, you got a great coach. Knobloch he's good. He's good at matchups. He's good at feeling the flow of the game, seeing what's working, what's not. And the nice thing is you have all these versatile players who can play in all these different positions. You got Corey Perry, can play fourth line. He can play second line. He can play power play. He can do it all. Evander Kane is the same way. He can be effective on the third line. He could pop up to the first line if you need him. Zach Hyman, same way. Now you got Pods on the second line. And that's what's great about this Oilers team is you have all these guys that they can change these lines at any point in time. And guys can go up into an offensive role or they can come back into a checking role, and they all know their jobs and they can all do these different jobs. And they've shown they can do these different jobs. So this is a new look. There's no look that I don't really like, but the thing is, it's great. Like I mentioned, is if this doesn't go well and it's not rolling, it's not clicking, maybe one line is and the other 3 aren't. Everybody's comfortable playing with everybody. And that's also good that they're constantly changing the lines. They're constantly looking at guys with different players so that you don't just have these set 4 lines that if things are going poorly and you try to change them up, there's no chemistry between anybody. These guys have all played with each other. You got centers playing wing, wings playing center, all these different things. He can try all these different stuff and go game to game, period by period, and change it how he wants to and how he feels the game's going. And that's what Coach Knobloch is great at doing. So it's fun to see different line combinations. Hopefully they work at the start. But again, worst case, you just go supernova.
Exactly. I also need to clip what you just said there for when it's game 30 of the regular season and we're all flipping our shit over the line blender of Chris Knobloch of why won't this guy stick with this guy and this guy? Oh, how the tables have turned for us as Oilers fans, because now it's one of the biggest, I say, benefits to this group right now is everyone has played with everyone, not just this season. It's a lot of the same group for the last several years. Got guys like Nuge, the Swiss Army knife, can do a little bit of everything. Love this Edmonton Oilers squad. Doobie, final one I got for you. Actually, first, Pat, pull up Bordzy's bankroll. Which of these 3 do you like the most? And then give me a score prediction and an anytime goal scorer.
I like all of them. I'll go a little different. I do like the Leon anytime goal. I'm going with Bush. Listen, this is what I want to see. That first goal, I want to see Bush walking down Main Street, tickling the rafters. The Bush bomb. Like, I don't want to see a stationary Bush bomb, even though somehow he can still hit it 100 miles an hour when he's standing still. But I love on the rush like that, joining late, head of steam, dropping it back to him. He's been so good, and I think that 1+ point. I mean, he's out there so much. He's so creative offensively, and he gets to dish the puck up to 97 and 29 and 93 and 90 and pick him. But he's out there a lot, and he's moving the puck well. So I like the 1+ point. So do the odds makers. Of course, I go with the -175. What a cop out.
Hey, that's okay. And then score prediction. How's this one finish?
I'm gonna stick with my number 1 key here. I'm gonna go 5-1 Oilers in a beatdown, and I got to see it right off the get-go. I want to see the first 10 minutes of an absolute onslaught.
So Doobie's bankroll, Edmonton Oilers to score first, baby. Also, Ben Stelter's 9th birthday. This one means more. This La Bamba would mean more this evening. Dubes, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will talk to you again on Oilers Nation After Dark. Hey, you sent me a photo of your setup on Friday of where you're watching the game, I think in your basement. God damn, brother, looking pretty good down there.
That's on the patio. That's outdoors.
That was outdoors?
That was outdoors. Yeah, it's a little chilly today for it, but I might get the heater in the fireplace going. So
I'll show you after.
three-season patio. So if you look in the back, it's outside. So it's a good setup. It's a little chilly today. I might stick indoors, but for the afternoon, or not, I guess it wasn't the afternoon game, but it was a beautiful night. That's my go-to.
And then who knows, Dubs, if the Edmonton Oilers were to grab 2 more W's in this series, I don't want to start rumors or nothing, but maybe someone might come on up to Edmonton and experience Greta Barrieg in all of its glory.
Hey, I don't want to jinx anything, but if we get a 5-1 win, like I said tonight, I might just have to call the travel agent and start making some plans.
Let's go, baby. Devin Dubnyk, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you later on Oilers Nation After Dark. Peace out.
All right, see you, boys.
That guy's the best.
Legend.
That guy's just the best.
So good.
He needs to come down here. He needs to. Dubs would have enjoyed Sunday Fun Day on Sunday. But final thing, I asked him for a score prediction and a goal score. What are you thinking? Because I know one thing you're thinking, and Zachary, you are on fire when you are predicting goal scores and first goal scores on the show. Are you 2 for your last 2?
Yeah. 2 for the last 2 on the first goal score.
Hot. He's hot.
I got a juicy one here today. 5-1, I'm predicting for the win. I was thinking about it literally just before Doobie said it. Like, I think him and I must be on the same wavelength here. That's a good sign. We're going with first goal scorer. I've wagered this at plus 3,500. Victor Arvidsson, plus 3,500. He's also anytime plus 650 over at Bet 365. I just got a feeling, man. Those comments about him being fired up, I could see him coming out. Tons of piss and vinegar in his game tonight. Expecting a big one from Arby.
So I think I'm also going to have to predict 5-1 because I think everyone's going to have to predict it. Rob Bell says 5-1 for the Star.
That's right.
Well played. Well played, Rob. I see what you did there. Also, we don't unit shame here on Pregaming. You put a sizable unit down on that Arvidsson first goal as well.
Listen,
you know.
I'm betting responsibly, and I'm betting within my means. And tonight, that is my entire bankroll. So we're loading up the wagon tonight. Absolutely hammered the Oilers minus 150 on the money line as well tonight. Probably my biggest single bet of the season this year.
Let's go, Pat. Score prediction, anytime goal scorer.
Well, I was originally thinking 4-1, but I like 5 better. We'll just count it. Maybe an empty net, right?
Hey.
So let's ride that. And I think I'm going to go with the bankroll and just ride Draisaitl on this one. He's absolutely due. And I honestly think I could go anytime or first, for Draisaitl if I was to wager. But I'm not going to.
First is pretty good. I'm going to go 5-1, Leon anytime. Honorable mention Zach Hyman because I think the floodgates have just absolutely opened for Hyman. He was snake bitten. It wasn't going his way. But he scores 2 goals in the third period. Expecting more of that. And you can expect to see these 2 faces later on this Oilers Nation YouTube channel for Oilers Nation After Dark with our pal Devin Dubnyk, where hopefully we are breaking down an Edmonton Oilers W in the ever so important swing game 4 of the series. We got Mr. Game 4, Stuart Skinner and Nate and net against Jake the Snake, or Jacob, if you will. I love you all. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Shout out to everybody in the chat also. Southpaw, if Doobie goes, I'm flying out. Doobie's good vibes. Let's go, Doobies. Yeah, there we go. Everyone, if Doobs comes down to Greta, this place is going to be fucking packed. I love you all. Good luck. We got to go. And we'll talk later on Oilers Nation After Dark. Peace out.